Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. We have quite the glow up with this EZA, and that is the EZA INT Android 16. Of course, EZA'd with the AGL Super Vegeta and Strength Super Vegeta. I do have him rainbowed. Again, another unit not quite level 10 linked, haven't even started on him at all. Everything is level 1. We do have him on 200% lead. One thing that the Android units are always going to have is by the time EZA's drop and the spacing and time period before it and in between, the units that you need to run around them, or the better units that were once like some of the better units in the game and the leads, they've always aged a bit. I mean, these guys at one point were insane. I mean, they're still pretty good, but based on where we're at now, where we're going to be with the 9th anniversary, at least JP's got that already, they fell down the pecking order. This guy, he's definitely not as good as he was when he initially released. And the same could be said for this guy as well. So it's probably going to be one of those things of you're probably not going to have too many places to run 16. I mean, there's Androids, Artificial Life Forms, Android / Cell Saga maybe because of the new unit or the new Vegeta and the new EZAs, Revenge, Powerful Comeback, and Tournament Participants. I mean, maybe Tournament Participants. But then with all the reps of Universe 7 EZAs from the 9th anniversary, you're probably just going to go full blown down that route with the Androids, the reps 17 and 18. I mean, there's also Android 21 as well, who I don't have, but there's just constantly weak links, constantly weak parts of the team where Android just needs that kind of all-for-one pick-me-up, that one-for-all kind of pick-me-up, you know? But regardless, we are going to try him out. So, I mean, we're starting with a 281k attack stat, 217k defense. I mean, we have Type Advantage right now, so we're just going to let him go in slot 1. I mean, he does have Guard. Did he have Guard before EZA? No, he had a high chance to do it. He now just has guaranteed Guard no matter what. 4.28 million attack stat. That is with some support as well. But the main thing is guaranteed Guard. Guaranteed Guard. He does raise his defense by 50% for one turn, cause supreme damage to the enemy, and massively lowers defense. He starts the turn with key +2 attack and defense +160, as it has guaranteed Guard, does gain an additional attack and defense +80% when attacking, and then has a 50% chance of forming a critical hit within the same turn after receiving an attack, which him having Guard and now the next part of his passive is one of the reasons why it's going to be very easy to trigger that built-in chance to perform a crit he does have, and that is because he has a damage reduction. You see what I mean? Just not as good as when he was, you know, once out, which I mean makes sense. Units do age, but it's a constant theme. It's a recurring thing with Android units. Is by the time a good EZA comes out, or maybe one new unit, whether that was 21, you know, the EZA Fizz Androids, you know, and now 16, is the category just keeps slipping and slipping and slipping and slipping. It's one of them things. It's one of them things. At least with 16, you actually have a reason to run him with Android / Cell Saga, which does involve the new Super Vegeta a bit more. Of course, EZA LR Gohan, Future Gohan. You do have reasons to kind of mix the team a little bit, which actually benefits him. It is a better overall team. But the team just kind of constantly slips away. I really hope there's an additional super coming from my cell in slot 3 as well, otherwise things could get a little bit techie. Let's hope there. I mean, or Vegeta could stun him. Perfect. Where was I? And he does have damage reduction of 16% whenever his Guard is activated, which he has guaranteed Guard, which means he's always going to have 16% damage reduction no matter what. Which, I mean, to be fair, isn't a lot, but you can stack that up to 48%. Just saying, so that can be 48% damage reduction with guaranteed Guard, and he gets 16% damage reduction whenever Guard's active, which is all the time because Guard is always active. So let's just say he's very tanky right now. And because we do have a Super Saiyan Gohan unit with us, he does gain an additional attack +8%, defense +160, and this is where his support kicks in as well, of all allies will gain key +3, attack and defense +58%, because Gohan is there attacking in the same turn. The only thing is, as I mentioned, When it comes to Super Saiyan Gohan youth units or Super Saiyan 2 Gohan youth units, while this man's EZA is still pretty solid, he's kind of aged and the meta's kind of shifted a bit. So realistically, how often are you going to be getting those extra buffs? How often are you going to be able to utilize that support is what I'm saying. But with Gohan here, 406k attack stat, 370k defense, again, with damage reduction, with guard. Doesn't really matter how we have him linked up, just because Gohan is here. That's the one thing with this unit as well, is you're not really looking for damage. I mean, having the crit with his attacks, that does mean you can do some solid damage. I mean, 4 to 5 million with a 50% chance to crit, it means you can do some solid damage, but you're not really using this guy to bring out big numbers. You know, you're never going to hit a 10, 15 million attack stat with him. You're not going to hit like a 9 mil plus crit that we've seen from Strength Super Vegeta, maybe even the AGL Super Vegeta. That he's not here for damage. He's here to soak it all up with the guard, the 48% damage reduction he can get up to. That's what he's here for. But in terms of what he was before this, like, I actually generally want to check this. Attack and defense plus 100%, 50% chance to guard. Defense plus 100% and all allies key plus 3, attack plus 15%. 50% when there was a Gohan unit, and then now it's guaranteed guard. I mean, to be fair, yeah, there's a lot more he does, but just having guaranteed guard and his damage reduction that can stack up is just more than enough. It just makes him insanely strong. What about on super attack? He didn't get any defensive buffs on super. Now he's got 50%. Yeah. This is why when I went on Twitter and these EZAs dropped, I saw a lot of people saying, yeah, 16 got a glow up. He definitely did. That is for certain. That is for sure. 16 definitely got a glow up. He's so much better than he used to be. Like, back when he released, he was solely dependent on a Gohan unit. Now, yeah, you get a massive buff if Gohan's with him. You know, attack plus 80%, defense plus 160, that very good support for all allies. But he isn't dependent on Gohan. He doesn't need the extra buffs for himself because he has the guaranteed guard, not a chance, guaranteed. And all of that damage reduction as well, which can go up to 48%. So, yeah, while having Gohan there is good, and I said it helped buff 16, he's still very good without Gohan being there, and he isn't dependent on Gohan being there, which I'm a massive fan of that change. It's a shame you miss out on the support, though. It would be nice if you could have that at all times, but I get it. But the fact now you don't actually need Gohan there, great change. Great change. Absolutely great change. I mean, we can actually pop this. I mean, why not? Why not? Now that 16's also got his EZA, it does mean also, because that's one of Gohan's active skill conditions to go into SSJ2. I mean, if you were going to run these two together, it's actually, this is what it should have been when this Gohan initially released all them years ago and this 16. This is how easy and seamlessly it should have been running these two together and getting SSJ2 Gohan out rather than never seeing him. This is how it should have been back in the day. This is how seamless and easy it should have been. Not years and years later when they both have their EZAs. You see what I'm saying? This is how it should have been. But, you know, I guess it's better late than never. It's better late than never. One good thing is, though, 16 is very good and ready and a very good option to go on an Android/Cell Saga team, an Androids team, an Artificial Lifeforms team, when those categories do get some bigger buffs and kind of come back into the fold and are in a much better position than they are now. Like, he already kind of has his place reserved and ready to go for when, you know, new units drop and more EZAs come out. Even though, as I said, it always feels like those categories are kind of always one step behind. Like, we'll get an EZA or a new unit, like 2 of them within a year, but the category's just so far behind that it doesn't make that much of a difference. And there's just constant weak links. But 16, he definitely has his place reserved. Definitely has his place reserved. One final rotation I do want to get, funny enough, is, since they are here, is exchange 16 out on the LR androids and have him linked up with this 16 just because they do link so well. But just see what he puts out number-wise. Again, like, 16 isn't going to be putting out insane amount of numbers. Like, oh my god, 15 mil and a 50% chance crit. No, he's doing like 4 to 5 mil. You know, that's nothing in nowadays in Dokkan. But he isn't here to be dealing damage, so I'm not really concerned with it. But what they've done to his EZA, honestly, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Love the fact I can edit because the coffin fit I just went on was absolutely ridiculous. As I said, I'm still ill. I'm still powering through, still soldiering through. But what can you do? But yeah, compared to what he was and what he is now, night and day. Night and day. This 16, honestly, he's got a facelift. He's got a BBL. That's basically what this EZA is. He's got a full-blown facelift and a BBL. That's what he's got. Which, by the way, you don't need to be getting those kind of things done. That's basically what this is. That's the whole reason why you get them. You know, enhancers. You know, when you see them Instagram reels or TikToks where barbers are giving out fades and like, I'll put some enhancements, you know, on his lineup. That's basically 16's EZA. That's what this EZA is giving me right now. But he is very good. Very, very good. As I said, this is what the LR SSJ2 Gohan and him should have been when they initially released for worldwide all them years ago in what, like 2019? Not in 2024 when one of them is like a year old to 2 years old on an EZA and 16's just got his. No. This is what they should have been on release. But, you know, you can't have your cake and eat it. I did not mean to do that. Did not mean to do that. We're also right near the end. And now that we've got this, yeah, it's probably not going to happen. Yeah, we've accidentally hit an auto battle and then having the giant form come out and all know, pretty much being at the end of the event. Something we might not end up seeing, but it's fine. As I said, you're not bringing this guy to bring out like the big numbers. So having him like ideally linked up with the, you know, the LR Fizz androids to get 16 out doesn't really matter too much. Just kind of wanted to see it. But this EZA, massive boost to what 16 used to be, and I kind of want to try him out in difficult content and bring Gohan just to kind of finally have that rotation that we never really got and have it work the way it should have done when they initially released. But overall, this EZA is great. I mean, I cannot fault Dokkan at all for the EZAs they've dropped. Super Vegeta or Strength Super Vegeta, very, very good, very, very strong. Does it look like they're held back? Yes, it does look like they kind of played into global a bit more than JP. The AGL one for a side EZA looks very good. Like the potential is there, but still good. 16, amazing. As everyone kept saying on Twitter, massive glow up for him. Cannot fault the EZAs from saying day, but you can let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care, have a good rest of your day, and post.